be able to hold down the fort. But there is a laundry list of stuff we have to talk about tonight. Of course, the win over Miami. Louisville basketball back in action against Kansas this weekend. Don't forget, the Cards got their first 2026 basketball commitment from probably the most unconventional avenue you could go down. G League guard London Johnson is a Louisville Cardinal. More on him coming up at the top of the hour. And also, we have some sort of giveaway to discuss, and I will tell you all of the details coming up at the top of the hour. It's something that I'm extremely excited about. It's been in the works for a little bit now, and if you're a Louisville fan and you're wanting to get out to the game on Saturday, you definitely want to stay tuned in right here on Big X Radio. But guys, hand up, I'll say it. I was on this show in this exact seat this time last week, telling both of you that I had some excitement, but I wasn't overly excited about the Miami game because of how inconsistent Louisville had been and how good Miami had been. But it's like the Shaq, I wasn't familiar with your game meme. Jeff Brom, oh, you won, buddy. Oh, you won. I'll happily eat crow. If predicting a loss against the number 2 team in the country is calling for me to eat crow, damn it, I'll do it, and I'll do it excitingly.
I mean, you have to. Like, Once again, like, we discussed it over and over again that, like, what was our realistic best look at winning this game, and it doesn't count the Mario Cristobal stinker, big game Brom, and there's not a lot of answers. It's like you have to do everything perfectly to win this game.
You do.
You got to win the turnover battle. You got to win it in the trenches. That was the biggest thing, and then, your big players got to step up. We have to establish a run game, which we haven't had in 4 games, and they did it all. I mean, like it was a checklist. Just went down. Brom was like, well, there's our first 15-yard run of the game. We got that done. Here's our second interception of the game, and it just didn't stop. It didn't stop until the end.
No, it didn't. And I find it interesting, and you all can get your thoughts in 502-414-1450, the Game Day Men's Health text line. They asked one of the safeties from Miami after the game, and he basically was like, yeah, they were doing stuff on the field that we just didn't – it just didn't show up on film. They pulled out some new plays, and credit to Jeff Brom for kind of keeping it in his back pocket. I mean, because in the NIL era, you kind of have to wonder with players that are new to the program, and this isn't just a problem with Louisville, it's a problem everywhere. When you hit that first wave of adversity, you're seeing more teams quit. I mean, look at Florida State. They had 1 loss, and now they are on a complete free fall. And you were hoping that wasn't going to be the case. You lose a brutal game to Virginia in which you were arguably the better team. You're definitely more talented, but you should have won that game. And then you have to let it sit with you through the bye week, and your get-right game was Miami. And I can't speak highly enough about the preparation, the early game execution, and the emotion. I mean, Miller Moss is emotional after the game. You could tell how much this meant to him. He needed this win. We needed this win, and overall, I mean, this was, I argued, the biggest regular season win in Louisville program history, and I don't think that is a prisoner of the moment take. First top 10 win on the road in program history. This is wild to be talking about a historically big win for this Cardinals program.
Very, very big win. I mean, like you said, it's probably one of the biggest in school history, but just the overall, like, where this was, like what our season was starting to look like with this type of roster that we were having, all of the skill and personnel that we have that we felt confident in going into this season, it finally all clicked and worked in every position group in the most important game of your season that had basically full control of how the fans were going to feel about the rest of your season. So not only beating the number 2 team, beating a top 10 team on the road for the first time, but also like, you kind of saved your season here, Dalton, which is crazy that going up against the number 2 team was the make or break for your season, right? Because if you beat Virginia and this is your first loss, no one really is down, right? You lost to the number 2 team that a lot of people think is the number 1 team. You lost to Virginia. You can't lose more than twice. You really can't lose twice as an ACC team. So this game was everything for us, and we made it work.
I made the case, and this episode is coming out tomorrow for Locked On Louisville, which is the podcast that I host. I made this case in the brief post-game recap and also in the Twitter space. Shout out to the football junkies like Matt who were in that space at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, just couldn't sleep trying to relive that victory. I didn't go to sleep till like 4 a.m.
No,
Friday night because I'm sitting there rewatching clips. I'm watching social media just go berserk over, Jeff Brom's the most underrated underrated head coach in the country, and it's awesome to be on that end of the stick for once, right? And this makes your season the season outlook do a 180 because look, I shouldn't have to say this, but I will. Yeah, you have to focus every single week. There's maximum intensity and focus for every game moving on, right?
Yes.
But in the same light, you can't not talk about the future of the season when you're probably going to be favored in every game, assuming you win the week prior. You're going to be favored in every game that you play. Yes, you have to handle business, but your college football playoff hopes and your ACC championship game hopes are very, very much still alive, and this is a huge resume-boosting win to go on that schedule.
Oh, I mean, you are in the driver's seat.
You are.
Like, even if you're at the point now where even if you don't make the ACC championship game, you can build a good enough resume that, like, you just get in just with a straight bid. Like, you just go in the playoff rankings and can get in. Now, like you said, it's all about following suit. It's all about handling your business, about getting it done. You know, we still have to play Clemson at home, which I don't really believe in them, but, you know, it's a rivalry game. We still have to play SMU, who's looked better as the season's gone on, away, which is going to be tough. Yep. Do I think that we lose those games? No, I don't. I think that if we're looking on paper, I think that we can pretty easily win both of those games. But
I don't disagree.
It's going to take a lot. It's hard to not look into the future, but if anything, like, I don't see how you go into Miami, beat the number 2 team in the country, the one that's arguably 1A, 1B with Ohio State that everybody's been talking about, and you don't fully buy into this season at this point.
I agree. I think that and of course, it's great to see it now. Now you just have to replicate it. That's the thing now is you have to replicate it. We talk about the trap game because it's happened the past 2 years. Am I I have nothing to be able to support this other than strictly vibes. I feel like having a night game takes away more of the possibility of that trap game because it's not a noon kick where there may or may not be a good amount of people there.
It's
now
not a sleeper.
Yeah, you have it's one of the few rare conference night games that you have, and it's going to be hyped up to the point to where I feel like the players are going to be ready for this game more so for a night game. Nothing to prove that other than straight vibes.
No, you're not wrong because I think if we look back last year, you beat Clemson away. If that Stanford game is at home after that, I think a lot of fans are at that football game.
Oh, yeah.
People are ready to watch the team play again, but you go away, and like you said, you bring back Boston College here, who is probably the worst team in the ACC. You know, I think it's 23.5-point favorites we are right now, but, you know, still you're looking for that clunker. But it's like you said, it's a night game. People are going to be rowdy. People are going to be wanting. I already have friends texting me, asking me for tickets and, like, looking for stuff like that. They want to go.
It's funny you say that. More coming up at the top of the hour. Go ahead, Matt.
But, I mean, we said it on Mike's show. Don't ask Roman. The clunker game's over, though. We got it. The clunker game was Virginia.
I hope so.
I'm saying it here now.
I hope so.
We should have won the game. Should have easily beat Virginia. That's our clunker game. I'm gonna let Roman take over from here on it.
Roman, is there something you want to tell us?
Hard to view that game as a clunker when that line was probably too big to begin with. That was a much better offense than a lot of the teams we were going to see on our schedule this year. But I can also, we clunked that game away. That's why I can agree with it. That's why I can be okay with that being the clunker game. Of course, the game that we've already played is, I'd love for that. Last thing I want is a game that we haven't played to be the clunker game. But it is kind of just tough to know that offense technically was one that you wouldn't have. The offense didn't beat us, is why I can't say that. We didn't lose to the top 5 offense, and we lost to ourselves, which is just terrible. But hopefully we can avoid that going forward this season, fellas. The amount of momentum that you were just able to gather, both as a team, but it's individually with all of your important players. I mean, Isaac Brown needed a game like that. Miller Moss needed a win like that against a team like that. Colin Lacey, Chris Bell, continuing on with what they've doing, it only builds up their confidence. The defense, top to bottom, getting that true test against an offense that we felt like was going to be able to cause issues, they prevented all of those issues, fellas. And I hate to say this, but when you go and play a performance that way against a team like that, I I expect there not to be a clunker game now. That's like a clunker game's unacceptable now when you've proven you can play at that level.
It was unacceptable the last 2 years.
It has
as well.
been. It has been, especially coming off of those games. But
yeah,
number 2 team, a lot of the national talk analysts, pundits, people that they said this is their favorite to win it all. You just went and beat them, and you dominated them, and you outcoached them. Granted, that's, Cristobal's not saying a whole lot, but you've got to build on the momentum that comes from this game. You can't have a drop-off in energy or effort level any area of anything going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we also got to give a little bit of credit. We're going to look into this game. 4 interceptions against Carson Beck. Felt like you got Miami uncomfortable. Really, the only time they trailed this year was 3-0 against Florida State. Other than that, they've played with a lead. I think you got them out of their offensive identity. I think that it kind of flustered Carson Beck because you got pressure to him in different ways. You disguised things in the secondary. The secondary was phenomenal. Yeah, there were a couple plays early on where you lost some one-on-one reps with Malachi Toney. It's going to happen. He's a star.
I mean, he's a lottery pick.
But you made up for it, though, right? You made up for it. You disguised coverages. You baited Carson Beck into it's funny because, after I predicted Miami to win, all I heard all week was how Louisville didn't have a shot. And I started to, almost out of spite, say, you know what, we're going to win this game. Because I was told, in my YouTube comments, I got grilled. And it comes with the territory, but that fan base, wow, they grilled me. Louisville doesn't have a chance unless Miami forfeits. I'm not convinced that Louisville's going to score a touchdown on Miami. What, are they going to score 24 with 8 field goals? There were some that said, well, Miami's the most physical team that Louisville will have seen and more. There's no way they're gonna stop Miami's offense. And it's just hilarious now looking at the amounts of copium, dangerous amounts of copium down in South Florida. Just say, oh, well, Miami lost this game. No, you can't say that when you didn't have one lead in the game. If you trailed the whole game, miss me with that. Miss me with this, oh, well, we lost it, you didn't win it. It happens all the time. Tale as old as time. But if you do not hold a lead against me, you can't come to me and say, good game, I lost the game, you didn't win it. It's so stupid to me.
No, I mean, like you said, they didn't lead for a single second. They didn't even tie for any seconds in this game. They lost in the trenches. They lost in the run game. They lost in the pass game. They lost in coaching. If you want to say, oh, Miami lost, well, they lost in everything. They
got beat.
You got beat by Louisville. You got out-coached by Louisville.
Just take it on the chin. You still have a good team. Miami's not bad. I honestly look at their schedule. They're probably going to go 11-1. That's a good team. Good teams tend to trip up. It's okay to admit that Jeff Brom outcoached Mario Cristobal. It's okay to admit that Louisville wanted that game more. It's okay to admit that, yeah, you should have won the game on paper, but you forgot that the game is played on grass. It happens. It's happened to Louisville every year. It's this wild phenomenon. You can't give other team credit. You just got beat.
You just lose sometimes.
And so, well, we still play bad, and if Carson Beck doesn't throw those interceptions, okay, what if Isaac Brown doesn't fumble that ball? You probably don't even have a shot to win that
Did we
game.
see some of the those were linebackers making those catches.
Yeah.
The dude was throwing up hospital balls.
Antonio Watts full-out lunged for the ball. And, I mean,
even after that first one to Malachi Toney, that first deep ball that he caught, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, look, if Carson Beck is throwing those, we're going to see some things out there.
I'm telling you, bro, I think a lot of it was that Louisville pressured, and we didn't get a sack on Miami, by the way, but we got into the backfield, and it made Carson Beck uncomfortable. Louisville's interior defensive line has been phenomenal. It was on display again. It shut down Miami's running game. Miami's offensive coordinator had no clue what to do. Carson Beck decided he had to be a hero regardless of what was open and what's not. He didn't take the checkdowns. He tried to throw the big passes, and it didn't work. Credit Louisville. Louisville won, we move on. But I'm going to bring you all this hypothetical. We've got about 13 minutes or so before we get to the top of the hour and talk about this giveaway. But now you look at the rest of the season. Let's say, theoretically, Louisville handles business. Would you rather make the ACC championship game at this point? Because if you're 11-1 and let's say that it's Georgia Tech and Virginia. They don't slip up and they make it in. If you're 11-1 as an ACC at large, I don't see how you don't get in. Because you're 19 right now. Imagine with all the SEC teams that are going to cannibalize each other because they play each other. Same with Big Ten. Imagine that. If you're 19, how much are you going to rise up with 6 more regular season wins? And at 11-1, you're going to be like Indiana last year. But you're going to have a solid victory and a loss that's not so bad. I don't think 11-1, there's any way they keep you out. What I worry about is if you make it to the ACC championship game, the pro is that if you win, you're in automatically. The con is if you lose it. You're 11-2. SMU barely got in with that ACC championship game loss. I'm kind of drifting towards the fact that I just kind of want to win out and get thrown in the playoff like that.
I naturally would agree with you, but Virginia and Georgia Tech schedules worry me. They worry me because they shouldn't technically slip up. I know Virginia does have to travel to Cal, I believe, and those can be those games are never easy when you've got to travel that far from over here. That being said, I'd like to just, when the ACC kind of feels like it's a bit up for grabs, don't you want to? I want to remove the room for error, and the fact that they're not going to count that loss for Virginia to NC State.
I still hate that. I'm sorry. I still think it's the dumbest thing. I don't care how long it's been agreed upon.
I'm worried Virginia and Georgia Tech went out. They play. Whoever loses that gets the second bid. And because
it's not, it doesn't have to be a 2-bid league, though, Rome.
It doesn't.
If you're 11-1, you look at it, I get it from that standpoint, but if you're 11-1 and your only loss is to a team that is literally playing in the ACC title game and you have beat Miami on the road, and they keep you out, you should probably leave the damn NCAA. Let's go play in church leagues across the country at that point.
This is what
because
drove me nuts.
that would be the ultimate slap in the face. Miss me with the strength of schedule BS. If you put Indiana in last year for going 11-1 and their only loss being to Ohio State, or did they go 11-1? They lost to Ohio State. Is that what?
Yeah.
And they don't really have a signature win on their schedule, and then you bring Louisville into the equation with a relatively similar strength of schedule, 11 wins, 1 losses to an ACC championship game team, and you have beaten Miami on the road, who is going to continue to be good. I don't think that there's any way they keep you out. I think there's more of a chance if you're, let's say, if it's Georgia Tech, and if Georgia Tech also has to play Georgia at the end of the year. Don't forget that. I don't think they beat Georgia. But let's say if they're 12-0 and they lose the game, maybe you have a case. But I think it's more so you include both of those. I think who's going to be pissed are the 9-3 SEC teams that want a handout because they can't win the big games in their conference.
I think they're going to give them that handout.
I think some of them will get a handout. I just don't think with how much parity there is in college football right now that it's going to go the SEC's way. Or let me rephrase it, shouldn't. It should. Somebody says, hell no, give me the ACC chip. And look, I'm all for playing in that game because it's a vibes thing. You win the ACC, that's a hell of a thing. I'm just talking from this situation of would you take a better shot at 11-1 and no ACC title game bid, a better shot to make the playoff, or you can have the chance of getting an automatic, but if you lose, you have a worse chance than you did before you played the game. It's kind of ass backwards. It shouldn't hurt you as much as they're allowing it to hurt you, but they are.
It's a very interesting situation because the ACC is set up right now where you could generally have 4 teams win out right now.
Yeah.
You can have Louisville win out. You can have Miami win out. You can have Virginia and Georgia Tech all win out. And if that happens, Louisville, Miami don't play in the championship game, but they both could probably make the playoff. And then you have a
Miami's
chance
number 9. If they went out, they're probably a top 4 team.
Yes.
You leaving them out? No, you're not.
The thing that drove me crazy is after Louisville beat Miami, there was people talking about, well, Louisville probably just played the ACC into a 1-bid league. And I was like, how?
Man, get the hell out of here with that.
The math doesn't even make any. Are you telling me Louisville's going to lose 2 more games? Or you can tell me Miami's going to lose 3 more? Like, what are we, like, I don't understand because the best thing, if we're talking about for the conference, the best thing for the ACC would be all 4 of those teams to win out.
Yep.
So then you get 3 bids.
Yeah.
Because how can you legitimately turn them down when you took Indiana for that last year?
Exactly. I want to avoid the room for error, fellas.
I would love.
And of course, none of this matters if you don't.
True.
If you don't win out, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We're playing a hypothetical game, and of course, I mean maximum effort every single week. But you're favored to win all the last 6 of your games. If you just stay the course and do what you're supposed to, and you're 11-1, you're 19 now.
If Miami
Teams are going to lose ahead of you, and I know AP doesn't reflect college football playoff rankings, but you have that Miami win. That's going to separate you so much over some of these teams that you have that top win that maybe 13, 14, 15, 16
Put you above
have.
Notre Dame.
Huh?
Put you above Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is a weird case, man. They're going to do everything they can to keep them in.
Oh, they are. But if we're looking at strength of resume and we're looking at this and that, I mean, that's a 2-loss Notre Dame team who did win out that lost to Miami.
The texter says you don't want to leave it in the committee's hands. I agree, and that's kind of why, like, I see both arguments, and the texter also says there's a good argument for both scenarios, and there is. I think the worst case scenario for Louisville, and this, I guess this is the worst case, but I mean, in this situation is pandemonium happens and you're playing Miami again in the ACC title game. Because at that point, I'd rather just be 11-1 and not make it.
I think it depends on what happens to Virginia and Georgia Tech. I think if they
I would be okay with playing Virginia again.
If they flop out and it's to the point where you're Louisville, Miami, and the ACC's got no other bids, then
Georgia Tech
terrible.
is. I think they are the most overrated top 10 team I've seen in a very long time. I like Georgia Tech. I think Brent Key's a hell of a coach. Haynes King is a great college quarterback. But
Penn State to start the season.
They should have. I mean, currently, man. Preseason doesn't really count in my opinion. I'm talking through the season.
Yeah.
You should have lost to Wake Forest. ACC said, we got to keep Georgia Tech in this. Duke just gave you the game. You haven't really played anybody all season. I think you're going to get a good litmus test when they play Georgia. But again, it's a team that isn't
smack them around.
Georgia Tech is not a team that is geared up to blow teams out, and you're watching that happen. They just play such a smash mouth.
Gonna lull you to sleep.
Yeah.
Gonna try to find a
King is their
14-yard gain.
He's their main runner.
Well, it's an offensive. We're telling you what we're going to do. It's up to you to stop it. It puts a lot of pressure on you laterally, and if he could hit some of these throws downfield, it'd be different. But
and if they stay out on the field a long time, it can be tough on a defense.
I think at this point, I also I hate that the conference championship game is meant to be a celebration and a reward for a good conference slate, but yet it's being used against you so much if you lose that game, right? So it's I see both arguments. Part of me is you know what? Screw it. Let's go win the damn ACC. Part of me is ACC's cool, but damn it, I want to get in that damn playoff by any means. And if it means not playing in Charlotte, I don't care.
That's where
I want to play in the CFP more than I do the ACC championship game. I'd love to play in both, but we got to call it how it is with predicting what the committee's going to do.
That's where my heart is at. I went to the ACC championship game against Florida State, and just the thought of walking out of there as the ACC championship felt so good. But when you have a genuine chance to make the college football playoff, I'm taking that 10 times out of 10. Whatever route that is, I'm accepting it.
All right. Guys, when we come back, you've been waiting. We'll get to it. We have a giveaway to tell you all about coming up at the top of the hour. You're tuned into Mondays with Dalton Pence here on Big X Sports Radio.
Matt Dennison here, inviting you to join me
Top of the hour here on this October 20th edition of Mondays with Dalton Pence here on Big X Sports Radio. Dalton Pence, Roman Kelly, and Matt Trudgers taking you up till 7 o'clock. Well, I should clarify. It's going to be Roman and Matt taking you up till 7 o'clock. I'm out of here, unfortunately, after this segment. But we've been teasing it. I said that I'd tell you about it at the top of the hour, so I'm going to stay true to my word. But we got a little giveaway, guys. And I have been all in group chats and Discord saying that we need to have as many people at L&N Stadium on Saturday night as humanly possible. There's no excuses, guys. There's no excuses. It's one of the rare conference games at night. The weather, from what I see, isn't supposed to be bad. Oh, no, there's a 5% chance of rain.
Don't say that.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. But, probably people, if they see clouds, they won't show up. That's what I see sometimes. But, all right. So, the giveaway. I am working / partnering with the guys over at 1912 Society. For those that don't know what that is, it's a new Discord with diehard Louisville fans. I will drop the link to the Discord on X or Twitter. My Twitter is at dpence, DPENCE _. And if you follow Matt and Roman, you'll be able to find that pretty easily as well. It is a Discord where diehard Cardinal fans get together and conversate during games, throughout the week, talking about opponents. There's everything you could think for. There's new content coming on the way. But I'm partnering with the 1912 Society, and we are giving away upwards of 10 tickets to this weekend's game against Boston College. The way to get into that giveaway is to join the server and enter the giveaway. It is free to join the server, and it is free to enter the giveaway. Literally, it's painless. If you are one of those people that say, you know what, I want to go to this game, but after the game against Miami and seeing those ticket prices raise a little bit, you want a chance at some free tickets? The opportunity's here. It's upwards of 10 because there's 10 right now. I think there's going to be more than that. And the way that they're giving away, it's multiple giveaways. So it's, at the moment, 5 giveaways of 2 tickets for each winner. And I am pretty confident, I have it on good authority, that that number is going to rise.
I mean, they're free. What do you have to lose?
If you're thinking, they're only giving away free tickets. What's wrong with it? You have an opportunity to win free tickets to go to a night game at Cardinal Stadium, and these are going to be some pretty solid tickets, by the way.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose, and everything to gain. Right now, there's only 10 tickets. That's a good amount. It's, at the moment, 10. I would say within the past couple of minutes, I feel confident going up to 14, upwards of 14. That's a lot of tickets to give away. I've seen what other people have done throughout the season, and it's been really inspiring. People have been giving tickets away just to get fans in seats, and I'm excited to be able to work with the guys over at 1912 and company to be able to make this opportunity and ability to come to life. It's pretty neat to be able to do it, and it's all in the name of getting people in seats because Jeff Brom deserves it. This team deserves it. This program deserves it. Let's get some butts in seats.
They've done their job. It's our turn now.
Exactly. There's no reason. You have a top 25 team with everything to play for. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a good crowd at Cardinal Stadium on Saturday. So, again, I'm going to tweet that link out here shortly. If you don't follow me on Twitter, it's at dpence _. If you need to go to Mike or Matt or Roman's Twitter to find me, that's fine as well. And it'll have a link to enter the 1912 Society Discord with a bunch of diehard Cardinals fans if you're looking for a forum to talk everything Louisville sports. And there will be directions on how to enter the giveaway. It's quick. It's painless. It's free. There's no better way to look into that. So, appreciate you all giving me the time to be able to explain that, and I'm excited to see who wins it, and I hope that if you enter it, you win it. So, upwards of 14 tickets. That's not a insignificant amount.
Take
but
the whole fam.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would have to. They're giving away in pods of 2. So, I mean, if you win X amount of tickets, I would doubt that they're all sitting together. Put it that way.
True.
But still,
Get all your buddies to send it in as well.
yeah. I mean, and all we ask is don't go to the party deck.
That's all we ask.
Everybody win the giveaway and go to the party deck. Group picture.
I think as a joke for one game, we should actually just not allow anybody in their seats and just overflood the party deck and see how many people we can get on there.
Let's not.
Somebody would get hurt. Somebody would get hurt.
How about let's not? Everybody's going to the flight deck and sitting.
Could you imagine what that would look like on TV?
No, we got to go to the flight deck. The flight deck and whatever the Adidas zone up over the one end zone.
Am I watching
That's all you got to be.
a COVID football game
There's
right
like,
now?
where's everybody at? Then you show up and everybody's just rowdy up top.
T-shirts ripped off, chest painted.
Yeah. So that giveaway, it's launching tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Just a heads up. You have some time to get in, and the winners will be announced throughout the week. I think maybe Thursday or something, but you'll be able to find out once you enter. But I've got about 10 minutes left with you guys. We're going to talk about Louisville's newest commitment. Were you watching highlights of him a little bit ago?
Watching highlights.
Look at Matt working overtime in the film room. Let me ask you all this. Of course, London Johnson, 21 years old, decided not to go to college initially, signed a 2-year deal with the G League at a time where it was very popular to do so. Jalen Green did it. Jonathan Kuminga did it. More people did it. It was reported that he signed a 7-figure deal, which was higher than what Scoot Henderson signed. He ended up going top 3 in the draft. I just say that for reference. Now, let me ask you all, the fact that Louisville's getting him from the G League, you hearing that, how does it make you feel?
Go ahead, Matt.
It makes me feel really weird. Like I can't understand what is happening with college basketball. We're getting not only like the players from Europe is one thing. You know, that's completely different. You know, they don't live in America. They're coming over here to play college basketball. That's different. We're getting American high school basketball players who skipped college to play professional basketball to now come back to college, get paid anyway. So, like, how is this not professional basketball?
Yeah, it's the more I feel like I understand college sports, the more I realize I don't. I mean, they set precedent when Thierry Darlin got ruled eligible at Santa Clara, but it's like you can't have signed for a team. You can't have even played on a two-way.
Have an official contract.
You can't have an official contract.
Which is a two-way.
Yeah, you can't be associated with
the official team.
The official NBA team. But there's so much
or have
gray
declared
area.
for the draft, right? Or
yeah, it's
went
weird.
through the draft
Yeah,
process.
like there's no. This is so weird. I think from a level of competition standpoint,
I love it.
first of all,
Keep bringing them on.
Do we think it's going to get like the MLB where you can like get drafted and then it'd be like, I'm actually going to play college basketball?
Yes, that is what we're headed to.
I think we're getting toward the point of if you don't get drafted, you can come back. I don't think it's going to be a situation where you can deny where you get drafted just because of the amount of players. Eventually, something's going to come down the pipeline. I think that could be on.
Yeah, you're going to be allowed to
but-
fully declare for the draft, fully put your name in, and if he doesn't get called, you're going to be
But
fully
this was
allowed
a
to
guy
go.
that averaged almost 11 points a game as a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old. Now he ended up last year going to play for the Celtics G League team and the Cavaliers G League team and took a step back, only averaged 3 points per game on like 14 minutes a night.
I think
Which
those are better G League teams, though.
yeah, they are better G League teams. But don't forget, here's the thing. There's more competition. And it's not even a comparison. The G League is way more competitive than D1 college basketball because you know who's playing in the G League? Former D1 stars. The best of the best in D1 are playing in the G League because those former lottery picks that didn't work out, that were All-Americans and All-Conference guys, guess where they're playing? In the damn G League.
The Chucky Hepburns, the Terrence Edwardses of the world.
That's not to say that this guy's going to come in and be as good as Chucky Hepburn. I think that this guy has some juice. He's got a pretty advanced scoring repertoire. I worry about efficiency and turning the ball over, but this guy is not coming to Louisville to ride the bench.
No. Or be the star.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming to be the star either. I said in my show that's dropping tomorrow, the ceiling is a starter. The floor is a very much involved rotational piece. I think he's a top 8 player in the rotation. I don't think it's up for discussion. How do you convince a guy who's playing 15 minutes a night for a G League team to go to college and play?
Get more minutes.
You get more minutes and more production. That's the sell. That's the sell here. Now,
For probably the same money.
yeah, it's pretty similar. I would imagine that.
Actually, probably give him maybe a little bit more.
I imagine based upon what his rumor contract was and what some of these high school freshmen are getting, Louisville's thinking, you know what? We're going to bank on him being 21 years old and having some more experience, playing in a better league, and being a little bit cheaper. And like Pat Kelsey said, whether we like it or not, there's a sense to Moneyball about building this roster. You can't overpay everyone.
No.
Louisville doesn't have the infrastructure to do it. It's not sustainable. You have to pick and choose your battles. You have to pick and choose. Yeah, you have to be unconventional. It's uncomfortable. There's a ton of uncertainty.
Feels weird.
It feels weird, but with how calculated and meticulous this staff has shown to be, I'm okay with it. I don't want it to become the norm to where we have 7 guys from the G League on the team. As long as this guy is ruled eligible, I don't give a damn as long as he's helping the team.
Here's another reason why
He's
I'm
got
okay
2
with
years of eligibility, and he's going to join the team in January, so he's going to be able to practice against Michael and Conwell and McNeely and Kobe and
have a whole year basically of getting
Truly.
to see what this looks like before he steps on the court.
exactly.
That was going to be my second main point. My first main point is nobody we recruit or go after with the intention of them being a priority with how we're going to do anything, right? We want versatility. We want multiple good players at multiple positions. That's what Pat Kelsey wants. He wants 2 guys that can play every position. Or not 2 guys at every position. This is a versatile combo athlete. He can get to the rim, he can shoot, he can be your primary ball handler in sets if need be, and he can play off the ball. If you can get someone with that skill set to buy into our culture and philosophy, all of the issues they potentially could have on the court typically get worked out because we're not asking them to do everything. We're not relying upon them to be this, that, and this on the court. We're asking them to go out there and make the correct play every single time and not have to have a whole lot of minutes and time out there to do so because we've got that deep of a roster where the 8th man can come in and be someone you trust, right? I think this is smart. I don't necessarily like the idea.
I don't want it to become like you just disregard high school recruiting to recruit the G League. Like I don't want it to become the norm. But
I don't want Redshirts to be the norm either.
Well, yeah, going to the G League every now and again and getting a couple players like you do the international route, I'm okay with because it's going to be pretty clear that not everyone is eligible to do this in the G League. It's not going to be something where, not every G Leaguer has the optics, but it's pretty simple to be able to understand the situation at hand here versus a guy going to college and exhausting his college eligibility. Like I feel like it's apples to oranges, and it's not hard to see that. You just kind of choose to see it from a G League perspective because you're probably a Kentucky fan or anti-Louisville. I think that's what it kind of comes down to.
See, I feel like when it comes to the players coming from the G League, this is a godsend for them. You're basically getting a full do-over, and you're going to play probably for a program that's going to get you more media coverage than the G League was.
I mean, you play on national TV, you've already got more coverage than the G League.
Yeah, but then you're not working out with actually the pro teams anymore, but you're getting runs with a little bit lighter of talent, a little bit lighter competition. Get your numbers up. Kind of pad the stats a little bit, kind of rise your draft stock, and you basically get to go all over again.
If he can buy in, if you get him to buy in, which here's the thing about it is you're running more advanced systems, schemes, and sets when you play with an NBA affiliation. Here's the thing is that casuals will tell you that defense is not being played in the NBA. The actual film will suggest that there's never been more of an advanced time of basketball than right now. Like, defense is being played. It's just that the offense is so advanced and players are so good offensively.
It's the most difficult time to play defense ever.
That they get overshadowed so easily. And if you don't believe me, go watch it. Go watch the film. Watch how intricate these sets are on offense and tell me that it's that easy to defend. Yeah, there are clips where guys are taking plays off, but you're going to find that everywhere in every level of basketball. But I like this addition for the Cardinals. I'm intrigued to see how the Cardinals attack the portal at the guard spot in the spring, because I still do think they go get 1 to 2 difference makers. Because I think that this guy can be good. I'm not sure that I'm banking on him to be that other starter if Woolley comes back, but we will see. But I will tell you what I'm banking on is that in situations that you can't control, if you get in an accident or someone you know is hurt on the job or on the way to the job, I'm banking on Tony Collier getting me paid. Because, look, he's worked for those big companies, so he knows how they operate. So he's got the opposing playbook. Just let him put the plays into motion and get you paid. He's going to safeguard your rights. He's going to ensure maximum compensation, and he's going to give you peace of mind in a time that can be very uncertain and, frankly, very scary. So if you or someone you know is injured on the job or on the way, 502-736-8141 or visit thecollierlawfirm.com. We'll come back 2 segments down, 2 to go. Roman and Matt will take you home.
And we're back in here. It's the Mondays with Dalton Pence show. Mondays with Dalton Pence, but no Dalton Pence, as we've got Matt Schodas and Roman Kelly, myself. We'll be taking you up till the next segment and down till 7 o'clock here on Monday. Matt, we didn't have a lot of planning to do for this. Obviously, it was a little bit short notice. We knew, at the beginning of the day, but still different when you don't really know how that's going to look later on in the day. So we'll get a few things we're going to chat about. Shout out to Dalton entrusting us with this here and letting us talk on his radio show for the rest of the day. Matt, we've talked about a lot today as you stuck around for the entirety of the Mike Rutherford show, which was great. Love having three guys on there. We talked a little bit of Louisville football. We've talked a little bit of Louisville basketball, the Lyndon Johnson commitment. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of chatter on Kansas in this game this Friday, partially because of the hype centered around this big victory that we just got from this Louisville football team. But, Matt, how are you feeling about this basketball game Friday? I feel like on Friday, everybody just wanted to fast forward to this coming Friday in this Kansas game, and now, we've already kind of pushed it to the back burner a little bit. How are you feeling, though?
This is the thing that's interesting to me is because I'd imagine the whole entire Louisville fan base hasn't bought their tickets for Saturday or Friday yet. If we would have lost to Miami, I would suggest that all the tickets would have been bought up by now. Fully bought it. Let's just get basketball going. I'm ready to watch us play Kansas. Now it's going to be interesting. Hopefully people go to both. But at the same time, I am still so excited to watch this game. I know that you're going to be there. I'll be watching from home, unfortunately, but I hope we see more of this than we're expecting. I'm not expecting either team to fully just delve into their playbook. You know what I mean? We're not going to see crazy sets. But I want to see these two teams really go at it. Not push towards injury or anything like that. Keep it kind of light. But I want to see where both these teams are at, because there's been some chatter that Kansas isn't looking too great. Or at least not bad, but not where you would expect them to be at this moment. So I'm extremely excited for it. I would be lying to you if I didn't say it's weird to think that I'm more excited for a Boston College Louisville football game than I am Louisville Kansas basketball game. But that's the world we live in right now. Where are you at right now, Roman?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I mean, it's obviously a good thing to be more worried about what Louisville football is doing and what that next game looks like, because it's more significant at the end of the day. Maybe a hot take here, Matt, and granted, for the Louisville fan base, it's this Friday game against Kansas is just important for the individual sake of how we all want to feel about Louisville basketball. We want to see that on game one. Even though this isn't really game one, the first time that they step on the floor, we all want to see what that looks like. We want to see if we're all right in our predictions on how this team's going to play and what the lineups are going to look like and what the rotations are going to look like and how they're all going to mesh together. With that being said, technically speaking, this game Friday against Boston College is more important than the Louisville basketball game against Kansas. Not even a little bit, right? I still do think this is the perfect first exhibition game. This is the perfect kind of opponent. You've got Michael Brown going up against Darren Peterson. Both of what these two teams have done in the transfer portal. The hype centered around them. Granted, John Rothstein, what we're just seeing on X here, Matt, seeming like the talk amongst the Big 12 is that the Kansas team isn't really projected to be all that compared to what it has been projected preseason in the last few years.
No.
What did that tweet say? Let the listeners know.
John Rothstein says, Kansas is now universally viewed as the sixth best team in the Big 12 entering the 2025-2026 season. And then says, Kansas has its lowest external expectations ever under Bill Self. Ever is crazy.
Ever?
Ever is insane. Bill Self's been there a long time.
I mean, what was the expectation for last year's team? I don't remember it being very, very high.
Not a lot. I mean, I feel like haven't seen a lot of, Kansas is always great. They're never bad. But Bill Self is kind of, the Kansas team hasn't been great the past couple seasons. And to say ever is a kind of a stretch, because especially to drop this 4 days now before they play Louisville, who's gotten a lot of hype in this offseason in terms of probably having one of the best backcourts in the country. It's just a weird time to say something like this.
It really is. I'm not going to complain, though. I mean, this is I want to see us beat them. So I'm really kind of glad that this has kind of been the talk around them this year. I do think they're going to be better than they were last year, though. They've got a few guys on that roster that are projected to be very, very good. So I'm also projecting Darren Peterson to be very good. I think he will be better than A.J. DeBanza when all things are said and done for this season as a college basketball player. So I'm excited for this game Friday, Matt. I'm excited to see what these guys look like all out there together going up against opponents rather than themselves. And there's just so many things to pinpoint and be excited about because we don't know what this team's going to play like. I mean, there's going to be such a drastic change. We know that Michael Brown's going to be the point guard. We know he's going to have the ball in his hands, but I feel like you've got a lot more skill out on the perimeter than you did last year, or skill that you're willing to let be playmakers. You know, you're not going to but you're not going to have Javon Hadley out there running high pick and rolls and going and creating things off the dribble. Granted, he could do that at Colorado, but that wasn't his best attribute when you had a Terrence Edwards and a Chucky Hepburn. Rain Smith, a really, really, really elite shooter, couldn't do a whole lot within the offense once he had to put the ball on the floor as a playmaker. Granted, pump fake was mean. If he put it down on the floor and went towards the basket, I was confident in the Rain floater or the right pass. But with that being said, he's not pump fake, putting the ball on the floor, bringing it back out, and resetting things. At that point, he has to give it back up to the guard and run around. Isaac McNeely's not like that. He can break you down off the dribble if he wants to. Ryan Conwell, probably going to be one of the highest usage shooters we're going to have on this team. Exact same way. He can get to the basket at will. Adrian Woolley seeming like maybe one of the most versatile guys we've got alongside Michael Brown. Is this team going to be able to defend, Matt? That's kind of been my question mark so far with how this roster's stacked up. We know we've got a bruiser down low in Frew, but that's kind of seeming like it's been more on the offensive side of things, right? Knowing that he can be that presence above the rim. He can be that lob threat. You can rely on him to finish around the rim and not get pushed around. Zugris, that real, hammer down low that's not going to give up an inch. He's going to battle for every single rebound. You've got another versatile big in Ali Khalifa who can do it all offensively, basically. Back to the basket. He can face up. He can knock down the three. He can be the best passer on the team. He can be your point center if you want him to. Well, I mean, not necessarily a lot of, statements or things being written that are positives on the defensive abilities on those three guys. So that's kind of a question mark. Are the front court going to be able to stop other front courts? Are they going to be able to dominate, right? Like we lacked last year when you brought those three guys in this year. That's kind of something you're hoping is going to be a change that we're going to be looking at least me. What about you?
It's definitely going to be a question because, you're right. We haven't heard people directly say the defense is where these teams going to be. Because, last year, that's what we knew about Chucky Hepburn. He's great with the ball in his hands. He's great. He's a great passer. He's a great facilitator. But his thing, he's one of the best defenders in college basketball. That's it. That was your core. Was you build around Chucky Hepburn, who's going to be he's going to guard your primary ball handler, shut them down completely, force them to go to the paint, force them to go to their second or third option. Your main dude, like a Jalen Lowe for Pittsburgh, is going to get locked up. You know what I mean? That's the game plan. But the thing that Pat Kelsey has talked about a lot is the physicality of this team, the effort in this team, and the hustle of this team with everybody.
Yeah.
Especially with dudes like Frew and Zugris, which made me feel a lot more comfortable because, like you said, that front court was a big question. We know all the names in the backcourt. That's their bread and butter. That's Pat Kelsey's thing. Point guard, you know what I mean? That's his thing. The front court is okay, we spent all this money, we put all this effort into our backcourt. What does our front court look like? And everything we've been getting, whether it's from tape, whether it's from press conferences, whether it's from other media outlets like the Field of 68, all coming out and watching, is that these guys put more effort in than a lot of teams in college basketball, and they work as a unit.
Yes.
This is sounding like it's going to be not like a Chucky Hepburn's going to guard your best player and then you're going to kind of support him. It's going to be team defense. And now with apparently what I've heard is that Kobe Rogers and Adrian Woolley are dudes who lock up on defense. If that's true, that only helps us. So you're right. There are questions. It is something that I'm thinking about. But from what we're hearing, it seems like this team has bought into helping each other and building that defensive game around as a team set.
And that's what's most important in college basketball. That's the teams that you see that have success year in and year out. They've got that. They've got that culture aspect, that ability for everybody to play for each other and as hard as they possibly can at all times. So that's kind of where I'm at with this team, is that I want to see that. I want to see that on the defensive end too, because you're going to have it on the offensive end. Looking more into this Landon Johnson commitment, Matt, this is a player who I believe Dalton mentioned it, but and of course now I'm losing it here. Was the 64th ranked player in the class of 2022 before turning pro, 21 years old. He's played, with guys like Jay Scrubb, was the youngest on the team when he was playing with him.
Gosh, I love Jay Scrubb.
He's pretty, I'm not going to say, he's a skillful player. Seems like he can do it all. Now, when you're watching him and all of these highlights, granted, they're obviously highlights. You can only take away so much. It's his best hand-picked clips. It's a lot of different variety and circumstances with, why is he shooting more pull-ups with this team and more doing things off the dribble with that team? It's because there's such a big discrepancy from team to team in the G League with how they play, who gets the touches, right? There's players within the organizations for these G League teams that are like, how do you say it? Like, say you get a guard late in the first round who's figuring it out in the G League. It's year 2 for him. He's called up a few times. He played the 10-game limit he can play on the top team in the NBA last season. Now he's going into year 2, right? He gets to do whatever he wants on that G League team. Guys like that are basically a part of the top organization at the guard position, it can be tougher in the G League because there's so many moving pieces. There's guys coming up and down, and there's also guys going from team to team. So the fact that he was able to have a little bit of consistency at one point, averaging double figures in the G League, is a really good sign. You don't really put a negative on the fact that the numbers wavered a bit when teams change, just because his role probably wavered a lot when those teams changed as well. But watching his tape, Matt, any other takeaways? Anything that you saw that highlights, if he can do this in the Pat Kelsey system, this is going to be a guy that, like Dalton said, starter being the ceiling, it's talking about a starter who can be an elite player in the ACC as well. Anything in the skill set from Landon Johnson that you saw that kind of highlighted that?
There was, and it's from the highlights that I was watching and the tape that the minimal tape. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to drop ball knowledge on people about Landon Johnson. The dude plays a lot like Chucky does.
Really?
In terms of he gets out in transition, whether it's off the inbound or if it's off a rebound. Like the dude moves the ball fast.
Plays with pace.
He plays with pace. He loves to touch the paint, and that's not like always taking a drive, reverse layup, whatever. Like he'll back a dude down just like Chucky does. He'll get a dude. He'll force. It looks like he'll force a mismatch, force him to get in the paint, pull him out, and he uses his teammates to his advantage. Like just like Chucky does, where like he pulls that dude out. He gets other people open by getting into the paint, by swinging the ball. And when you can do that and push the pace at the same time, I'm not saying that I don't know if he's good at defense. I don't know how efficient he is as a shooter. I don't have those stats in front of me. But Pat Kelsey loves to play with pace. And as much as he loves to shoot the 3 ball, he loves to have a secondary option, and it's that guard play in the paint. So if he can bring that over to a Pat Kelsey system, this is a situation where this is somebody that Pat Kelsey is just foaming at the mouth to develop.
Yeah, a lot of the finishes that I'm seeing around the rim, like when I watched the tape, they reminded me a lot of Terrence Edwards Jr. Just his ability to change direction and then change his speed once he gets into the paint and keep his dribble alive. He's got those floaters. He's got the soft touch around the rim. The shooting off the dribble, that's always a great thing, but in college, it's just different. You get so much more space out there on the NBA floor with NBA spacing for those type of pull-up threes. It's a positive, right? But that's just a plus. I'm not like, the pull-up 3. The fact that he can dribble under control when he's got pressure on him, off the ball, when he gets the ball, it's immediate. His decision-making is immediate, and it's fast, and it's quick. No lag, no delay, no questioning in his decision-making, it seems like. And that's a very positive sign, just as someone who, if he's going to shine here, it's going to come from that pace of play and come from decision-making and be able to use his full skill set. So I like what I see from him. The fact that he's been playing alongside bigger bodies, going up against defenders that are just bigger than what you're going to see in the ACC, faster than what you're going to see in the ACC, that's a positive sign for me as well, Matt. And it doesn't really seem like there's a weakness in his game, just something that he avoids, right? He doesn't mind contact. He doesn't seem like he avoids trying to get to the rim. He loves to slash, but he also pull-up shooter, spot-up shooter. So this is a type of player that I think, like you just said, Pat Kelsey is going to be able to develop very thoroughly. 2 years of eligibility. I'm not upset with that. I don't necessarily like, we're bringing in another red shirt. even though we didn't necessarily do it this year. It's not like we have a roster right now that there's guys that we know aren't going to be playing. There's guys we think that aren't going to be playing a lot, right? I don't know necessarily how the minutes are going to look for a Mo Kamara right at the beginning of the season. He's probably got a little bit of learning to do as he's coming from a very different brand of basketball as well. But still, he's played against pro bodies, a lot of bigger and faster guys than you're going to see in the ACC. So it seems like Pat Kelsey and the staff are wanting to accumulate players that can athletically be difference makers or be ready for this level of play right away, Matt.
No, you're right. I mean, what do we think of when you're recruiting freshmen? You think of, I want the most talented players. I want the ones with the most experience, who have the most games under them. I want the dudes who can come in and make an immediate impact. Those are the dudes who you want when you're recruiting freshmen. This dude's obviously not a freshman, but it's the same principle. Like, you want the dudes who you know can come on your team and make an immediate impact. And if it's dudes from the G League, I'm down for it. It seems like Pat Kelsey's looking like he's going to be a trailblazer in this movement in college basketball. I mean, this is the second dude we've talked about with Pat Kelsey looking for from the G League, and the first guard. And I like what I see from the dude. I mean, like you said, he's extremely decisive. When he gets the ball in his hands, he knows what he wants to do with it. He's not afraid. He doesn't shy away from contact. He knows how to get to open space. He knows how to use his handling ability to spread the floor and get to those spaces where he feels comfortable, and he can shoot. Like,
multiple years of eligibility.
This does not mean he's going to come in, play, then go to the draft. You know, maybe
the portal, but
But there is a route where this dude comes in, maybe becomes the 7th or 6th guy on the roster,
and by the end of that season, could be 3rd or 4th best player on the roster.
We're like, hey, you're looked at by every school in the country. We'll pay you this money if you come back, and we'll develop you even a little bit more. And I think Pat Kelsey, being the guy he is one of those guys who's able to bring a guy like this back.
Definitely. When the market in the transfer portal seems to be outrageous right now, and with no actual guidelines for what prices should be for players, and this guy's getting this. Well, this player's worth this because this school said they're willing to pay him this. That's not a realistic market that you can bank on finding the players you need for the right price every single year. I think when you go the different route, it's maybe a bit of a risk, but going and getting these pros from overseas, these G League guys, if you can get them, you're bringing in guys that have already been around the level of athleticism and the level of size that you can't really compete with in the ACC. So I'm not mad at it. You're saving money. You're bringing guys in that you don't have to wait on to be physically ready to play at this level. It's just a matter of getting them up to speed with the pace of play and the skill of play. So I'm okay with it. Save money, bring these guys in. You know, you can't bank on bringing in guys that want to be here 2 or 3 or 4 years anyway. That's just not the environment of college basketball. So if you can bring in guys here that want to try to build something over a year or two, I'm okay with it. And if you're going to save money doing so, and it's guys that can play at a high level, keep on doing it, Pat. I'm not mad at it.
If you go and you look up London Johnson highlights, there's London Johnson's best plays of the 2023-2024 season posted by the G League 1 year ago. There are 6 comments. Go Cards. Let's go Cards. Cards.
Welcome to the Ville.
Welcome to the Ville. And then one just says, go London.
Love it. Love it. Cards fans, we're going to get to these guys early and let them know we're glad that they're on the way. Hopped on it fast. He knows that the Card Nation's ready for him. But we're going to call it how we see it after this, with a little bit of Big X, Big Bets, a little bit of Monday Night Football talk, and just a little bit of talk centered around what we think is going to happen with Louisville basketball on Friday and Louisville football on Saturday. Here, presented by Call Your Law Firm on the Mondays with Dalton Pence show, right after this on the Big X.
Go. Hi, this is Dalton Pence with Big X Sports Radio with a message to you from Call Your Law
Welcome into the final segment here. Mondays with Dalton Pence. It's your host, well, it's your co-host, Roman Kelly, and your other co-host, Matt Childress. No Dalton Pence, as he had to get out of here. He had some play-by-play PA announcing duties he had to get to, but me, myself, and of course Matt are going to take you down to 7 o'clock. We're going to call it how we see it, presented by the Collier Law Firm as well, like we do here on the Mondays with Dalton Pence show every Monday, just giving our overall predictions of the week of Cardinal sports. That's going to be Louisville basketball. This is game week. And then, of course, Louisville football this Saturday as well. And let's just get right into it, Matt. We didn't get any text in on our Game Day Men's Health text line at 502-414-1450. Feel free to send your any thoughts in, any questions, any concerns that you may have here at the end of the show. We'll get into them. We'll discuss those. But, Matt, I want to call it how we see it, because that's what we do here on Mondays. Before we give out our Big X, Big Bets and talk of the night of sports, let's talk of the week of Louisville sports. And that's Louisville football, this Louisville basketball this Saturday, going up against Kansas. Overall, I'm feeling good about this. I'm not necessarily too invested in what the outcome means, because I don't think it means much at all. I think there's a very, very good chance it's like an electric first 10, 20 minutes of the game, and then both teams are just kind of figuring it out with a really back-and-forth momentum type of a game just through their rotations and letting young guys come in and get some tick, guys that aren't necessarily going to be major contributors playing a little bit more in this game than they normally would, because you're getting everybody comfortable in what it feels like to play in front of your home crowd up against a real opponent. So I almost kind of want to go more so into like who we think they're going to be the player of the game, what kind of a play style, like who's going to hit the most threes. Who's going to hit the most threes this Friday, Matt?
Isaac McNeely.
Really? With how many?
I'm going to say he gets 5 threes.
Really?
I'm going to say he gets 5 of that.
I feel like that's a lot. I think he gets 3, but I think there's like a 2 or 3 way tie for 3 threes made. Which now I'm already asking for a lot of threes made in one game, but I think Conwell's going to hit 2. I think Michael's going to hit 2. I think Woolley hits 1, but also maybe has a couple crazy and ones. I could see McNeely hitting 3. That's where 5 would be crazy. If he gets like 2 really early to start the game out, he's going to hit like 6 or 7 though. So I like that pick.
For me, it's like, I feel like Pat Kelsey, he's one of the coaches in the country that like listens to the fans. He listens to the media.
He knows what they're talking about.
He knows what we want to see. I generally believe in this first half, he's going to make it exciting. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to let Ryan Caldwell he's going to see, we might see Michael Brown take this ball the whole first half. Like, he knows that's what Louisville fans want to see. We all want to see Michael Brown be dominant. We want to see him step up to the plate and hit a home run. So it wouldn't surprise to me if the first half is like a lot of stuff we've all just been waiting for, and then the second half is kind of like, just playing basketball. We get our rotational guys in there, this and that. If I'm Kansas or I'm Louisville, you obviously, like, the best outcome is that you just blow out the other team. But, like, I don't think either team would really care if the game is close the whole time. Great, competitive basketball game, great exhibition game. If you lose, whatever, it has no implications, doesn't matter. You just don't want to lose by a lot.
Yeah. You don't. You don't want to have a bad showing out there. You definitely want to, show all of the positives that you're going to be hoping to see this season, both offensively and defensively. But you also, you don't want to show your hand too crazy either, right, Matt? I get that's different than football. It's not like you're just, we don't want to show too many sets early on, but you don't need to be getting deep in that out of timeout bag or anything like that. Just a couple basic ones that you plan to be the base sets for those kinds of things and make sure that they can do it, but save the creative stuff for when the games really count, I think.
Oh, yeah. Like, unless it was some catastrophic failure and Louisville was down like 20, I don't see us running anything hyper creative. I think you're going to see some pretty basic offense, some pretty basic defensive sets out there.
Or if it's really close at the end.
Yeah, if it's really close at the end, then maybe we'll throw something out. Pat Kelsey will give us a taste about maybe an inbounds play that he's worked up.
Opportunity to teach a game-winning situation there. Something
that we already know he's good at. It's whatever, like, I could see that. But it's going to be pretty, cut, just straight cut. Like, it's going to be a pretty straightforward game. I just want to see both teams go out there and just put a lot of effort in. It sounds weird to say, but like, I just want it to be an exciting basketball game in late October.
I'm with you. That's what I want. Moving on to Saturday, Matt, as Louisville will be hosting Boston College. This is a 7:30 kickoff. we're gonna get more into this throughout the week. It's kind of tough on a Monday. I haven't done a lot of my Boston College film watching yet. One game this season that I can recall like actively watching, and that was the California Boston College game. Outside of that, I haven't really watched them play a whole lot. So I don't have a whole lot to say about what they'll look like. The Lonergan kid, he's all right. They just don't do anything too extravagant, though. So this isn't an offense that should be able to cause any issues on our defense. That's why this line is opened up at 24.5, now already moved up to 25.5, Matt. I don't necessarily think we covered this just because the ACC's been so funky this year, even with the home team being the better team in a lot of the ACC games this year. It's been funky. You can't.
I think that this game, if we were to have a game after a Big Brom win, right, this is the one I would want. Because Boston College, only 2 games this season, hasn't given up 30. And that was their opening game against Florida where they only gave up 10. And then their game against Cal, which they only gave up 28. Every other game this season, they've given up 30-plus points. And, I mean, they don't score a lot of points. This team lost 48-7 to Pitt. And now Pitt's looking a lot better than we thought at the beginning of the season. They gave up 41 to Clemson.
Yep.
That win is not looking very great anymore. They gave up 38 to UConn, who a lot of people probably forgot even have a football program.
They haven't been good.
I want to see, coming off of that win, you're at home.
Domination.
I want to see domination. I mean, I'm not saying we need, like, just like the basketball game, I'm not saying we need to go delve into the playbook. This isn't Miami. But it's a 7:30 primetime game at night on a Saturday night where your fans looking like they're probably going to show out. Everybody's bought in again. Like you said, not a lot of basketball chatter so far. You need to dominate this game.
I'm with you.
We can't have another. We won by a lot, but it looked ugly. You know, you need to. You saw you can do it against Miami. You got to do it against Boston College now.
I'm with you. Go out there and get a win. Go out there and get a win early. Get a lead early from start to finish, like you did against Miami. I want to continue on that. Let's see if we can make that something we have consistently this season, where from start to finish, we're the best we can be. Because if you do that against the Boston College team, there's no reason this team should be playing with you at all. But, Matt, with that being said, I feel like every single week in the ACC, every week, I'm going to go back and start looking here. I feel like there's been one game in the ACC where the home team was better in the eyes of the majority and lost at home. I mean, Miami this week. You look at last week, Florida State losing at home to Pitt. The week before that, you've got I mean, there's just.
I mean, even this week, Virginia almost lost to Washington State at home. Like they got, you could argue, kind of bailed out with a fair catch that the guy who caught the punt didn't even wave.
Week before that, in terms of the line of the game, us. I mean, we were 6.5-point favorites against Virginia, the better team in terms of where the books thought was going to be, where the offense is lined and our defense is aligned. Went on and beat us. Virginia Tech losing to Wake Forest at home. I mean, that's pretty even there, but it's every single week in the ACC, there's a home team that's losing to a team that isn't as good as them. I mean, you look at NC State the week before that, losing to Virginia Tech. So hopefully that doesn't have to be the case for us. But with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a game that maybe just looks uglier than we plan to, just for some weird, crazy reason like that. I don't. Boston College doesn't have it on offense to go out there and put the points on our defense, and our offense, based on what you've seen the other offenses do against Boston College, should be able to roll here. So that's us calling it how we see it there. I'm not going to say Louisville covers here, but I think we win comfortably. I think we win probably in that 18-21 mark.
I'm going to say Louisville covers.
Love it.
I'm going to stick with it. We also have a text in on the Gameday Men's Health text line.
Ooh, what does it say?
It's about the Kansas game. It came in while we were talking. It says, Texas says, no reason this shouldn't be an annual game in an Adidas Classic and count.
I mean, he's right. Texas right. This is call me crazy, the 2 biggest Adidas basketball programs, right?
Yeah.
Who else do you have?
Indiana.
UCLA is not. They're Jordan now, right?
I think they are Jordan now. I'm trying to think of who else is.
I think Wisconsin. I mean, they're not up there.
Wisconsin, yeah, they are.
Tennessee now.
I would say it would be a huge money play. I don't know how much money Kansas makes from playing in the Champions Classic, But it would be a huge money play if Adidas bought in and did their own classic with those 4 teams: Kansas, Louisville, Indiana, and Tennessee.
Miami is also, but then they're
Miami,
not basketball.
Yeah. But like, if you bring those 4 teams in every year and do your own like Adidas pinstripe classic, whatever, like that's free money.
I think it'd be smart. I think it'd be great for both programs. All the Adidas recruits that you've got lined up for those 2 schools will come. It'll be a recruiting type of an opportunity for both schools as well. I would like this. I think Adidas could only benefit from this. So they need to make that happen. We got through here basically to the end of the show. This break does go to 59, thankfully. We got to get some Big X, Big Bets out. Matt, Big X, Big Bets obviously come in the Running with Roman show. We've changed the official term for the Ticket Puncher show to the official punches. But Big X, Big Bets, I'm sitting at 12-10 after a 1-0 Friday. We gave out the Minnesota plus 7.5 as they go and get the upset on their home field. What do you like tonight? We've got 2 Monday Night Football games on tonight. One starting here in about, 5 minutes, technically? But it'll probably be about 10 minutes just because they're always late. I'm pretty sure it's a 7 o'clock kickoff. Yep, 7 o'clock, ABC, ESPN, Lions, Buccaneers. Will you like any big you have any Big X, Big Bets in this game, Matt?
Not for the Lions Buccaneers game. I do. I'm actually taking Bucks plus 6. I mean, this is Baker Mayfield's MVP year. Like he's looked, besides Dak Prescott, and you can throw Drake May in there. Like he's looked by far the best quarterback in terms of like the dude's playing with 6-string wide receivers out there, and just putting them on the dot. He's running the ball when he's under pressure, like he's Cam Scatterbo. Like, I think this is going to be a really close game. The Bucs defense has looked a lot better this year than it has in previous past. I'm going to say they cover the plus 6 at minus 112.
I love it. Is that going to be your Big X, Big Bet?
That's my Big X, Big Bet.
All right. Big X, Big Bet from Matt there. And my Big X, Big Bet, I'm going with the Rachaad White 50-plus rushing yards. Official Big X, Big Bet for me here. The Lions have allowed a running back RB1 to cover this in 5 of their 6 games this season. Only one team that didn't do this was the Cincinnati Bengals, in which Jake Browning had 31 yards. Chase Brown had 27 yards, and then the other back had 27 yards. So they still gave up a good amount of yards between the 3 different guys that were running it for them. Every other game that they've played, though, the RB1 has had 50-plus yards. So I think Rachaad White's going to reach this mark. 41 yards 2 games ago, 65 yards in his last game. Both of these games have been since Bucky Irvin has dropped down with an injury, and he's still out. It's Rachaad White at RB1 tonight going up against this Lions team in a primetime game. I think he's going to get the carries.
Emeka Egbuka is coming back tonight.
Egbuka will be back, so he'll get the targets as well. But I think that pass game will open up the run game for Rachaad White. I think that'll actually help them because the Lions is not going to be able to just load up, send all 7 every time and prevent the run.
Because Mike Evans is also back tonight, isn't he?
Mike Evans is also back.
I thought, yeah.
The full offense is going to be flowing there for the Buccaneers. So I do think that Rachaad White's going to be able to get to that 50-yard mark. I also like Rachaad White. This isn't an official play. This is actually an official punch for the Ticket Punchers, which we have a Twitter now and stuff. So we're going to try to give plays out every day. That'll go to the Ticket Punchers record. I like the Rachaad White anytime touchdown. He's got 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games since Bucky Irving's going down. I like him to get this mark tonight as well in a primetime matchup against the Lions, in which I think there's going to be a good amount of scoring. I'm not going to be surprised if both underdogs here cover just because it's primetime, but I think with all of the weird stuff that's happening in primetime, I think Vegas and the NFL are going to try to get back on the same page. Lions win here, but they don't cover. Seahawks win, but they don't cover. Instead of both teams just losing outright.
I just randomly saw a video on my Twitter feed of Michael Irvin shaking hands with a Kentucky fan at the Miami game.
What?
And he's a sign that says, "I want to take a picture with Michael Irvin."
That's interesting. Saw Chad Ochocinco at the UK game.
I did see that.
It looked like he was having fun. Glad that game wasn't it was exciting in its own little way. But this has wrapped us up here on the Mondays with Dalton Pence. Matt, I feel like we've gotten everything. We've addressed everything. Shout out to the texter getting here on our Game Day Mentel text line. But we'll be back next week. Dalton will be back on the airways. We'll be reacting to the outcomes of both this Louisville basketball game and this Louisville football game. And we'll be excited to do so. But this has been Mondays with Dalton Pence, Roman Kelly, and Matt Childress. We'll be back next week. But tomorrow, we've got 2 to 6, back to the normal Tuesday through Friday schedule. We'll see you tomorrow here on The Big X.
This is Kentuckiana's only locally owned sports talk. The Big X, AM 1450 and 96.1 FM, WXVW Jeffersonville.